if you'll excuse me. Previously on Star Trek Online, the Dominion as you know it is on the verge of collapse. Without your help, the Herc will win the war of attrition.
What's happening?
Yes, Garrick, I found your mysterious widget. What is it exactly? It's not Kremen tech.
I found a similar device on Bajor.
These devices call the Herc, and we put them there. The other founders are hiding things from me.
Odo, look out!
Hold your fire. I think it's trying to communicate.
We can't hold off the Herc forever.
Alliance forces are spread too thin to help, Quark.
We need the Klingons, brother. Otherwise, we're doomed.
The Sword of Kahless, as promised.
Once again, the House of Quark delivers. Martok will be pleased.
You found a secret I've kept for millennia.
The origin of the Herc infestation.
And you're rolling it.
The Dominion must endure.
I'm afraid I can't allow that. As we speak, every Herc in the quadrant is homing in on the signal.
And now the conclusion. I arrived here ahead of you, and I've already engaged the Herc near the planet. You've made your point, Garrick. Deactivate the Herc lure device you placed on the home world before this gets out of hand.
I'm afraid that's the problem, Ambassador. I deactivated it several minutes ago.
Then why are the Hercs still attacking? Don't play games with me here, Garrick. I'm warning you.
Perhaps they're still attacking due to a deep hatred of your people. After all, the Founders are directly responsible for their state of mind, body, and soul. I can't say I blame them for...
Enough! Both of you. We don't have time for this. There's bigger problems to deal with here, starting with that swarm of Herc vessels nearby.
Agreed. My fleet is already engaged near the planet, but Herc reinforcements keep arriving. Try to punch through the swarms so we can join up.
We may be needing your solution to this problem soon, Doctor.
Yes, since yours failed in a spectacular fashion.
Has it? Some might argue it succeeded beyond expectation.
This is the Chimera. We're here to help.
The CSS Steadfast stands ready to assist you as well.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
My ship won't last much longer. We need to deal with the swarm attacking it immediately.
Target shield has failed. Left shield failing. Target shield has failed.
Well done. The ship's taken heavy damage, but she'll survive.
Oh, we've bought ourselves some time. Let's hope it's enough. Julian, is your plan ready? It may be our best hope to end things now.
It's as ready as possible, Captain. The challenge of frontier medicine, I'm afraid, is that there is never enough time. I've created a program that will enable the Herc to synthesize the compound they need to come to their senses. I've also put together a core sample of the compound for them to utilize in mass production. That is the easy part.
And the hard part? What do you need to make this happen?
From what we've learned about the Herc, the best way to make this happen will be to enter the data into one of their core computer systems. It'll need to be a command-level system with fleet-wide override authority. Systems of that caliber are only found on Herc dreadnoughts.
There's a Herc dreadnought heading toward the planet as we speak. It's slow, so we should be able to intercept it. I recommend we engage that ship and disable it, if possible. We'll need to get a team on board to carry out Julian's plan.
Warning. Ship is under attack. Target's shields have failed.
We did it. The dreadnought's disabled.
I'll send some of my...
Right. Let's get...
Loris and I have all we need. We're ready to beam over when you are. We'll need to find their central computer core. Once we're there, I'll begin the override process that will allow us to transmit our data on the cure. When that's done, we can instruct each ship in their fleet to replicate the cure and distribute it to every Herc on board. Of course, we need to reach the command center in one piece to do so.
Enemy life signs ahead. Get ready to fight. Proceed with caution. I'm reading numerous hazards in the area. This section of the ship has taken heavy damage.
Flanking damage detected. Enemy combatant in close proximity.
Excellent work. It's time for Loris and I to finish this. Keep your weapons handy, however. We're breaking into a secure computer system here. The Herc are bound to take offense. Keep them busy while we do our work, or this will be a wasted trip.
This one goes here! That one goes there!
I was saving time by inverting the feed now instead of later.
Doctor, I thought you were supposed to be Starfleet's best and brightest.
I wouldn't even be in Starfleet anymore if it weren't for this Herc nonsense.
We're running out of time, Doctor!
Perhaps you know a faster way to translate Herc language and reverse engineer their technology.
Enemy combatants in close proximity. Enemy targets on sensors.
Almost ready here. The system needs the physical samples of the cure for final analysis and processing. Shall I proceed? Are you insane, Weyoun? That was our last hope.
How is this possible? You were in prison!
I was liberated by those who still served the true Founders. Not everyone is a traitor to the Dominion, after all.
There is only one traitor here, Weyoun. It's time you paid the price for your treachery!
Pathetic. You can't even kill someone properly. Allow me to instruct you. You! Jem'Hadar! Make yourself useful! Kill them! I've given you an order! Open fire! Kill them, now!
I think not.
He's gone.
And not a moment too soon.
Bashir to command. Everyone, we have a problem.
That Herc fleet is about to attack our position. We need to give the doctor the time he needs to transmit data on the cure.
Warning. Ship is under attack. Left shield failing. Target's shields have failed. Rear shield failing.
Well, you're in quite a fix there, Odo.
Brilliant observation, Quark. What do you want?
Forgive my brother, Odo. We're here to help.
The Ferengi cavalry? I thought I'd seen everything.
Oh, the best is yet to come, Odo. Say hello to my dangerous friends.
Well, Quark, we're waiting.
Rom, where are they?
Lose something? Like your nerve, perhaps?
Long ago, Takuvma, the Unforgettable, lit the beacon of Kahless to restore glory to the Empire. Today, a new torchbearer, Worf, son of Moog, does the same. United, we now go to fight the enemy of our ancestors. Today, we will fight the Herc. I now hold the weapon they fear most. The sword of Kahless has been returned to us. Join me now in honorable combat. Show the Herc what it truly means to be Klingon. For Kahless, for the Empire, Kapla!
Warning. Ship is under attack. Target's shields have failed. Rear shields failing.
The arrival of the Klingons has given us more time in space, but the situation on the surface is dire. Herc's forces are breaking the Jem'Hadar defense lines. We need to do what we can to help. I'm beaming directly to the Great Link to aid my people.
The time has come. The Herc mean to ravage everything in their path. We will not allow it. We will stand against them, as Kahless once stood, defiant and proud. Fight well, and if need be, die well. Qapla'! Whom do we seek? Kahless! How do we find him? Together! Kahless, give us light to see forever! Will he hide from us always? Never!
It's worse than we thought. Most of the Jem'Hadar lines have been broken. Even the Great Link is in danger. I'm going to coordinate our defenses at the Link. Meet me there.
We'll meet you there as soon as we can. And Odo, be careful.
The Jem'Hadar have come to our aid. Now, we will return the favor.
Fight well. Good. There are many Herc between us and the Great Link. We go there now to reclaim our lives, for we are already dead.
Enemy targets on sensors. Flanking damage detected.
We won't last long out in the open like this.
Odo to Kira. We're fortifying our position near the Great Link.
Understood. We're on our way.
Your timing is impeccable. Thank you for your assistance. Enough pleasantries. There are still Founders under attack nearby. Go to them and destroy the wretched creatures who would attack our gods. Oh, you are also forbidden to kill yourself if a Founder dies in your presence. We need every able body in the fight.
Enemy target on sensor.
I think we're too late. This Founder is losing morphogenic matrix stability. There are more friendly life signs nearby. We should do what we can for them. This isn't on you, okay? Stay with us. We need everyone to fight the Herc.
Glory!
I don't know you, Solid, but I thank you for your service. Your timing is fortuitous, Solid.
Enemy target on sensors.
Is this some sort of solid invasion?
You made it. Good. We're going to need all the help we can get here. It looks like the Herc are focusing their attacks on the Link. I've called for reinforcements. but most of our lines have been overrun. We're going to make a stand here and hope the Doctor's plan is successful. If not, if we fail, this may be the day the Dominion dies.
Please tell me you have more Jem'Hadar coming to help.
The call's been sent, but they may not arrive in time.
We'll do what we can with what we have, then.
As always, until the end.
I'm not sure I like the way you said that, Odo.
Nerys, if we don't make it...
No, now is not the time for this discussion.
Look around. There may not be a better time.
You're right. And I understand what you did.
You do? Then you know how sorry I am for everything.
Yes. And I forgive you, Odo.
I know. I feel the same. Nerys, are you hurt?
It's just a scratch. I'm fine. We're losing ground here, Odo. Keep fighting.
We can't hold this position much longer.
That's Jem'Hadar, for we're about to die, Doctor. Are you ready?
Not without the Ketracel components needed for the cure.
Ketracel? Yes. Victory.
Wait! Stop!
Is life.
It seems the battle is over, but how? What happened up there, Doctor?
I believe Dukan Rex realized that his own body contained the Ketracel material I needed to finalize the cure. He extracted what we needed at the cost of his life. Once the Herc were able to synthesize the cure, they came to their senses and called for an immediate ceasefire. Their forces are withdrawing as we speak. It's over, Odo. I won't say we've won, but it's over. There was nothing I could do for him on the Herc Dreadnought. The Ketracel extraction process was too devastating. Odo, you treated him like a son when we first found him on DS9, and I'm truly sorry.
He didn't even have a name when he left us. I'll make sure the name he found is never forgotten. I remember his first days on the station. All he wanted to do was fight, didn't matter who. When he left, I thought I'd never see him again, or if I did, it'd be as enemies. The man I met years later still knew how to fight, but his reasons for doing so had changed dramatically. I'm proud to have known him. I wish I could have done more in the end. I suppose you're right. I believe Captain Kira was looking for you. She was at the Temple of the Prophets last I checked. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to pay my respects. We'll talk more later.
And here we are, once again. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it? Funny you should mention that. After we got back, Starfleet Command offered me a number of postings, even the center chair on one of those shiny new cruisers. Tempting. But I chose to join the command staff here on DS9. Bajor and the Celestial Temple mean a lot to me, and this station is a good place to keep them both safe. Subtle, but you're not wrong. Odo and I have a lot to work out before we're back to where we were, but we've taken a few good steps in that direction. I think it'll work out. Eventually. He's a hard man to read sometimes.
It is good to see you once more. I was hoping we'd have a moment to speak on an important matter before your duties take you back to the stars. My thoughts often return to the Orb of Peace. It was no coincidence that it was found in the Gamma Quadrant, in the midst of two warring tribes. I believe it to be a message from the prophets, one of guidance in troubled times. Now that the conflict with the Herc has ended, I feel it's time to explore this omen more thoroughly. The recent vision experienced by Loris is truly remarkable. That the prophets would speak to Avorta. Again, this is no coincidence. Simply put, I believe the orb is meant to broker a lasting peace between the people of our quadrants and the Dominion.
Hello again, my friend. It pleases me to see you. I have interesting news. Thankfully, no. Rather, it involves the Orb of Peace that you returned with Kaiopaka. It has spoken to me. I've been exploring the meaning of that experience with the Kai and Captain Kira. They are, after all, experts on such matters. While we all find it curious that an orb of the prophets would speak to Avorta, we also agree it would be foolish to ignore it. With the blessings of Founder Odo, I have been transferred to this quadrant to continue my studies of the orb and the prophets. I shall also serve as Founder Odo's representative here. Diplomacy is my specialty, after all. I'm sure we'll be seeing one another again. May the blessings of the Founders and the Prophets be yours.
Thank you for coming to visit. After all we've been through, it means a lot to have friends, even if it reminds me of the ones we miss. Speaking of reunions, I think General Martok is leading the charge against the Bloodwine at Quark's. I'm sure he'd want to congratulate you on another glorious victory. May the Prophets watch over you.
That was quite the battle. I knew my father and uncle were up to something, but I didn't think it involved leading the Klingon fleet to the fight. That said, we wouldn't have pulled this off without you. Glad you were here for this. Starfleet's assigned the Chimera to peacekeeping duty in Herc space. We'll be working with the Joint Task Force to help the Herc get back on their feet again as well. There's a lot to be done, but we want to help them rejoin the galactic community. It is. But my crew is up for the challenge. They're some of Starfleet's best. Take care of yourself out there. Don't be a stranger.
We'll be here at DS9 until my ship is repaired. Fortunately, I have exclusive rights to the holosim of the battle. The sales of that alone will cover the cost of repairs, and then some. Some days it's good to be the Grand Nagus. I don't like to think about how close to disaster we were, though. Fortunately, there were people like you out there to bring us all back from the brink. All those adventures. You've got quite a story to tell. That reminds me. Have you ever considered making a holobiography? I think your life story would be quite popular and profitable. I'll make you a very generous offer for the rights and cut you in on a share of the profits, say 25%. Suit yourself. The offer still stands if you change your mind.
Oh, I'm so glad to see this come to an end. But not as glad as everyone back on Ferenginar. It's a celebration of Rule 35 like no one's ever seen before. I mean, peace may be good for business, but things are really getting out of hand. When word got out that the Gamma Quadrant was open for business, the new Latinum rush was on. Open borders and free trade policies? My husband was practically weeping with joy. Oh, poor Odo. He thought he had his hands full with Quark on DS9. Now he's going to have an entire quadrant full of Ferengi to deal with.
I am forever indebted to you. Without your efforts, I would walk the path of exile for the rest of my days. Now, I will help make amends for all that has happened during Zencast's terrible crusade.
A hard-fought battle and a well-earned victory. And yet, we almost missed it. Our fleet would have never left the Empire if it weren't for the sword's return. Grilka tells me her former mate, Quark, had something to do with that. The sacred blade of Kahless, returned to the Empire by a Ferengi. Madness! Yes, it was Worf's idea to ignite the beacon of Kahless. A bold move, but it paid off. Only a coward could refuse such a call to arms. The legend of Kahless is stronger than ever. It would not surprise me if the High Council moved to create a new clone of the Emperor. There is great power in legend, after all.
Welcome back. Seeing as this is a private party and I'm in an unusually generous mood, you'll be getting the VIP discount on your drinks tonight. Did you take a hit to the head in that fight? I'm in a good mood. Not insane. Half off. Take it or leave it. That's more like it. Don't take it personally. You could be Odo. His drinks? 50% markup. Can I get you something? Interesting. There's a message from Garrick on my monitor here. Text only. He wants you to meet him at his old tailor shop. Maybe he's had enough of politics and wants to get back in the fashion game. Probably more profitable in the long run, and easier on the nerves. I wouldn't keep him waiting if I were you. He looks for secrets when he gets bored, and trust me, he's not the person you want poking around in your business.
The conflict may be over, but there's still plenty of work to be done. The Lucari have offered to help the Herc restore their homeworld's ecosystem, and they've accepted. Dr. Bashir will be working with us on this. It's our goal to ensure that no Herc will go without nourishment again. Some time ago, I hoped for a path to peaceful resolution to our troubles with the Herc. I'm happy to be part of such a solution, at last. Thank you for your efforts in getting us all to this point, to peace.
Thank you for meeting me here. Strangely, I find it easy to center myself in this shop, even relax. Quite so. Cardassia is about to begin a new journey, as it were, and I'll be going along for the ride. Oh, it is. Cardassia has been offered membership in the Alliance, and we've accepted. Our seat at the table was hard-earned, but we're ready and grateful to join the ongoing efforts. Officer exchange programs have already begun. In fact, I suspect you'll be seeing more Cardassian faces in the future. I hope you show them the same courtesy as you've shown me in our shared adventures. Oh, I'll be spending time on Earth, Kronos, and New Romulus. The life of an ambassador is never dull, after all. Someone needs to make sure the Alliance doesn't forget about Cardassia, and I suppose that someone is me. I'll be sure to follow your exploits, of course. They'll be far more entertaining than economic forecasts and state functions, to be sure. I believe our fearless leaders would like to have a word with you next.
There have been some significant diplomatic events since your return from the Gamma Quadrant. First, the Dominion is joining the Alliance. Having them as allies will take some getting used to, but the opportunity was too great to ignore. As a condition to joining the Alliance, we requested that the Founders take steps to free the Jem'Hadar from their addiction to Ketracel White. I'm happy to say that Ambassador Odo is inclined to comply with that request. It will make things interesting in the Gamma Quadrant, to be sure. Still, it's been a long time coming. The Jem'Hadar should be able to live their lives freely.
I have initiated a dialogue between the Dominion and the Karema. In light of recent events, I feel it is imperative that their conflict is resolved peacefully. Whether that results in an independent Karema or not remains to be seen, but I shall endeavor to help them reach a result that is beneficial for both parties.
The Havas Cool sector has been designated as independent from the Dominion, and a Herc neutral zone has been established around it. The Empire will join the Federation and the Republic in keeping the peace between the Dominion and the Herc. We have experience in enforcing a neutral zone, after all. Martok's use of the beacon and the return of the blade has led to a renewed interest in Kahless throughout the Empire. Some say that Martok stands with honor next to great heroes like Tukuvma, Vok, Laurel, and Kang. As if getting along with a stubborn old Targ wasn't difficult enough, his ego will be larger than Mount Hamar at this rate. It is fortunate that Martok has little in the way of political aspirations. Otherwise, I may need to kill him. Again. Ha!
Things are finally settling down around here. Well, as much as it ever settles down, that is. Well, there's a lot to be done with the Hurk, and being part of Starfleet will help me make things happen in that regard. When I'm not here, I'll be working with the Lucari and the crew of the USS Aventine to help the Hurk get back on their feet. Indeed, but I happen to be married to the captain of the Aventine, so it won't be, too bad. The kids won't be joining us until Kumake and her team restore Havas-Kul to a more habitable state, however. I'm sure we'll see each other again soon. But until then, be safe out there. Doctor's orders.
The Dominion is about to go through a number of changes, liberating the Jem'Hadar from the White, phasing out the Founder's benevolent dictatorship, establishing a safe haven for the Hurk. Needless to say, I'm going to be very busy for quite some time. No, there are still a number of Founders within the Great Link who will be very resistant to change. I'd like to think they're outnumbered by those willing to take a more democratic approach, however. The last thing anyone needs is a Dominion civil war. Also, not all of the Hurk were cured. We'll be dealing with rogue swarms for some time. I hope we can call on you in the future if we run into that special kind of trouble you have a talent for dealing with. Oh, and speaking of trouble, you might keep an eye on Quark. That little act of heroism with the sword of Kahless will make him bolder than ever. The future of the Dominion is uncertain for the first time in many years. Without the Founder and her unbreakable will at the center of it all, the Gamma Quadrant will undoubtedly go through a great deal of turmoil. I'll do what I can to maintain order and keep the peace, but it's going to be challenging, to say the least. For now, what matters to me is that you fought for the Dominion when we needed it the most. I won't forget that. And thanks to the Great Link, neither will the Founders. Thank you. I hope we meet again under much better circumstances.